Hey guys, CRU Productions back at it yet again with another HASBRO Beyblade X video. However, it is going to be sort of a riff on a previous video I did where I did 5 competitive combos for Hasbro's Beyblade X thus far. Today we're going to do something a little bit similar, but we're going to focus on the concept of a deck, which is 3 Beyblades, no repeating parts. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go give you 3 what I think are some of the best combos that you can build today with Hasbro's Beyblade X. Just 3. There's going to be a lot of discourse on what other people will use, what other people like to use, what other people use within these blades themselves. There's other blades that I'm not even using that you could use if you are limited, but for now I'm going to focus on 3 that I recommend with no repeating parts. So if I was going to go to a Beyblade X tournament, I would probably use these 3 if I was just limited to Hasbro. I do now have Wizard Rod and Dran Buster, which, would probably be in my deck, even though Wizard Rod is cheesy, but I digress. And I'll explain why I chose some of these over other contemporaries that Hasbro's released so far. I sort of got a mixture. I got an attack, I have a stamina that has sort of a tanky. It's not quite full defense. I don't want to call it balanced, but it's an offensive blade with a stamina bit. I'm sure you can figure out where I'm going along with that. But first, I'll start off with my attack build. My attack build of choice is Kill Shark, 360, Rush. Now, reason I picked Kill Shark over another blade, such as Sword Dren, for offense, is that I do like the upper attack that Kill Shark offers. I like that the weight is on the perimeter, similar to a unique line into Karatomi's Beyblade. I like that these 2 gaps provide adequate amounts of smash attack. So while it is higher in recoil, not quite as beefy as Dran Sword, and arguably not as consistent, I think that this would give bigger, better results in terms of burst finishes and over finishes. It gives me a higher chance of being tankier builds. Reason I go with 360 is because this is sort of the typical ratchet choice for attack builds in Hasbro's Beyblade X. 3 protrusions, 6mm. 60 is the dominant height across the board. 3 should be adequate enough for Kill Shark. 4 is not as good. 5, probably not as good of an attack concept. We don't have a 160 in the United States yet. 960 I'm keeping for a different combination. And lastly, I choose Rush over Flat just to try to get an extra X dash or a little bit more stamina to have another chance at getting the knockout or burst finish. But depending on what I'm up against, I would consider Flat, but for now, my Kill Shark will have Rush. Secondly, I'm going with Scythe Incendio instead of Chain Incendio. I think that Scythe Incendio has a little bit more of counter attack to it. It does have more recoil. It is more balanced, which is key for a stamina build. So while it is not lightweight, but an earlier Beyblade, it still holds some regard in the competitive scene. It is an easy to use blade with a variety of different stamina builds you can use. So with that, I actually do combine it with Chain Incendio's 5-60. So built a little bit better to withstand hits from other Beyblades. 4-60 is not quite as popular as I have found out. And then of course you get the standard ball bit for high stamina. Overall, I think this is a very great, easy to use stamina build. I think if you can get your hand on both Incendios, you could use either possibly, but for now, if I were to enter a tournament now, I would go with Scythe Incendio for easy use and hoping I can get some recoil knockouts. And lastly, this one is going to be a hot topic. Like I said, Wizard Rod is cheesy, and you could argue that this is kind of cheesy too, because by far, Phoenix Wing or Soar Phoenix is the heaviest Beyblade in Beyblade X, no matter what, still is the heaviest, even with the Karatomi. I don't even think the new Aero Pegasus beats the standard weight of Phoenix Wing, but what I do is I use the 9-60 ratchet, and I actually use Orb. I would like to use Point, but I think only now with Wave 2 are we starting to get Hasbro Point bits. I like that Point has that sort of similar balance. It has a counter attack, but it has enough stamina to last. Orb is great on stamina. It'll go well with the tanky build that Phoenix Wing offers. I do enjoy the fact that it can also counter attack. If you get a fast enough launch, it should be able to knock around and bully other Beyblades. It'll withstand hits from other attack Beyblades. It should withstand hits from a Kill Shark. Should withstand hits from a Dran Sword. Orb, with the tankiness and the recoil, you might be able to knock out some stamina Beyblades. I'm sure, for example, my Scythe Incendio would be knocked out by a Beyblade like this. and then Orb gives it that stamina to outspin other staminas as well, with its aggressive and heavy nature being able to take away spin power from other Beyblades. So this is probably my number one overall combo that I have right now that I'm starting to use my Phoenix Wing. But it's difficult because not everybody wants to pay $20 for this and a string launcher, but I did. This is going to be my sort of go-to, like if I'm doing like HASBRO testing, this is probably the defense, or not defense, sorry, the stamina / balance build that I'm going to test attack types against. And this also has the caveat that it can possibly beat some Wizard Rod combos. I would like point before I could claim that, but this is probably going to give somebody their best chances if they go to a tournament only having access to HASBRO parts and someone in the tournament has access to Karatomi. So with that in mind, I'm going to do like a little quick round robin tournament and see what we see and how they perform against each other. So let's go ahead and jump into that. As we get into this little round robin tournament, we'll call it, I'm going to lay down some ground rules. We're going to do a normal straight to 4 points, 3 points X finish, 2 points burst or normal over finish, and 1 point for a sleep out finish. I'm going to launch stamina first. In the case of Phoenix Wing versus Scythe Incendio, I will unfortunately have to launch Scythe Incendio first because it is a pure stamina build. Attack will go last no matter what. To ease off into it, we're going to start with the stamina build versus the attack build. So we'll do my Scythe Incendio versus Keel Shark and see if I can get it to perform well. So like I said, using a string launcher for ease of use. I would use a ripcord launcher in a tournament, but for a video I'm just going to use this launcher. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. So first battle, Scythe Incendio takes a sleep out finish, is up in the lead 1-0. Once again, Scythe Incendio takes the sleep out finish to go up 2-0. Let's try battle number 3. Just like that, Keel Shark ties the game up 2-2 with the standard knockout finish. So we're back at a tie game. First one of 4 wins. Let's go ahead, round 4. And Keel Shark actually gets the over finish, the X knockout, or extreme knockout. Scythe Incendio unfortunately loses. It was a close battle, but unfortunately could not take care of the knockouts in the end. We'll do Keel Shark again, but this time we'll have it against Phoenix Wing. Same rules, first to 4. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Big hit off the bat, but unfortunately Phoenix Wing is too much for Keel Shark, and Phoenix Wing will take the first point, 1-0, round 2. Almost a self knockout there, but Keel Shark managed to take the knockout to go up 2-1. So with that battle, you saw the benefits of the rush bit over flat. It did have a little bit more spin power to take that last dash and go for the knockout blow. Round number 3. And then in the very next battle, you see the drawbacks to Keel Shark. It had its spin power completely obliterated from Phoenix Wing's attack power with the blade, and was outspun very easily by Orb. We're tied 2-2 again. There we have another repeat. Phoenix Wing, 3-2. Let's see if we can get that 4th point, or if Keel Shark can pull off the victory again. Almost self-knockout. Almost there, but it doesn't look like it'll be able to do it. Let's see if we can land one more blow. And unfortunately, Phoenix Wing or Soar Phoenix is too much for the Keel Shark combo. It did perform admirably, and I'm sure in a straight 1v1 it could do better. I'm happy with its chances. It did manage to get a 2-point knockout. I'm sure it could get an extreme knockout with a more skilled player or in a more actual battle scenario. That said, we're going to jump straight into the next one. We're going to do our Scythe Incendio versus Phoenix Wing. See if Phoenix Wing can clean up, win the overall round robin, or if we're just going to have a 3-way tie. Like I said earlier, I'll launch pure stamina first, so Scythe Incendio will go first. Here's some of the recoil into play, but Scythe Incendio managed to stay in. But this time, that is what kills it. Phoenix Wing takes the 2-0 knockout. It even actually bursted it. So let me assemble that real quick. The recoil, Phoenix Wing did move a little bit, so there is a chance that Scythe Incendio can pull off a knockout finish. So let's find out if we can get it at least once. Phoenix Wing a little more stable this time. Scythe Incendio moving. But it loses the spin battle. Takes a 0-3 deficit to Phoenix Wing. Looks like I might have to go to the drawing board for a third combo. Let's try Phoenix Wing first then. Let's alternate since it's more of a stamina build. I'll try to keep it a little bit fair. And unfortunately, Scythe Incendio does lose. Fortunately, this is our big loser. Might try an Arrow Wizard combo instead, see what we can do with that, but that'll be independent testing. But, as you can see, my strongest combo is this Phoenix Wing or Soar Phoenix combo. Once again, it is 9-60 and Orb. I would love to test this on point in the future. Once the HASBRO Wave 2 is getting more common in stores, then I will use the point bit that I'm getting from my Drigger Slash, unless I get a HASBRO point bit first. But overall, I think this is going to be a complete staple to anybody's deck if you don't have accessibility to Wizard Rod, if you're only using stuff you can buy in American stores today. Definitely go with Phoenix Wing. You can use this as an attack build as well. You could use it stock, you could use the flat bit, the rush bit, low flat. I think people use low flat with Phoenix Wing, which would be a really deadly attack combination, I feel like. But for my purposes, I did want sort of that tanky, withstand hits, but provide enough counter attack abilities to knock out other Beyblades with my Phoenix Wing combo. So that is why I picked Orb. Good stamina, good weight, hard to hit, and also counterattacks very well, being a very aggressive blade. So those are my 3 combos once again. So we have Phoenix Wing, 9-60 Orb. We have Scythe Incendio, 5-60 Ball, and Keel Shark, 3-60 Rush. These are my 3 in my deck right now. If anybody wants to share their deck, that'd be great. I could do a video on that, somebody else's deck. I could do other things. Like I said, I could do an Arrow Wizard stamina build instead of Scythe Incendio, whatever it may be. Just let me know, guys. Drop a comment. Like the video if you want to see more competitive Beyblade X videos. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more Beyblade X videos overall. Once again, I do plan on completing Hasbro's Wave 1. I do just have 1 more, technically 2 if you want the Colored of Dronzer S. This has been CRE Productions with another video. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.